everyone. Thanks for joining me for another day of motivation. Today is Monday, it's the 26th day of June. Can you believe it? We're already in the middle of the year. 6 months have already passed, almost anyway. So I'm not here to frighten you. I'm not here to say that because 6 months have passed, it's all over. You still have another 6 months to come. So let's focus on that. So today I want to talk to you about the importance of service as it relates to your success. You see, for some people, when they hear this, they're taken aback, because when you think about success, you're thinking about it in the context of reward, in the context of, you getting certain accolades for your hard work. And that's a part of it as well. However, I want you to look at it from a different perspective. I want you to also appreciate the importance of service in your success. It was Mahatma Gandhi who says that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Now, many of you are familiar with Mahatma Gandhi, and for those who don't, I implore you to go and read up anything you can find on his biography, because he was a great man. Many people look up to him, and he had a lot of impact in his time and still does to date. And he said the best way to be successful is to lose yourself in the service of others. Think about that for a few minutes or for a few seconds. It's very important that you appreciate the importance of serving others, or the significance of serving others, because that is part and parcel of your success. My favorite book in the book of Mark, St. Mark chapter 10, verses 41 to 45, and about 43, it says that whosoever wants to be great among men must be your servant. I don't know if you remember that story when the brothers James and John went to Jesus and asked him if he could allow them to become the leader of the 12 disciples. And that was when they were somewhat reproached, because Jesus was saying to them that you don't show that you're a leader, you don't show that you're successful by exerting your power over others. You show that you're successful by serving others. And as such, being one of the disciples, you're part of a group, and the group will work together to achieve the outcome. So when they went to Jesus and said that they wanted to be the head of the group, he told them in the book of St. Mark that whosoever wishes to be great among men must first become their servant. But if you want to be placed on a pedestal, if you want to exalt yourself, you are going to become a slave. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you think about that in the context of your success, you have to understand that when you go out there and you get the requisite skills, when you go out there and you become proficient at doing certain things, it is not for you. You don't go and get all the degrees and the PhD for yourself. You do that so that you can perhaps lend your expertise to the area of academia, and you can help some other people to ascribe to that same status. You go and you learn to be a nutritionist. You learn to help people with their health, to manage their weight, etc. You don't do that for yourself. Well, partially, yes, because you benefit from it. But the essence of you going and doing all that studying is so that you can help someone. So how then can you not construe success in the context of service? So if you haven't been thinking about it in this way, I am imploring you to do that now, because that is very important. One of the reasons why sometimes people give up on their journey, people have big dreams and they're onto something, and then in the middle of it, they suddenly give up because things don't seem to be happening as fast as they expect. Or they don't seem to be getting the rewards in a timely manner in their own perspective. And so they become dissuaded and discouraged, and they may abandon the journey prematurely. What I'm here to say to you today is that you have to realize that you're not doing it for you. Thank you, Sharon. It's so good to see you. Thanks for joining. What you're doing, you're not doing it for you. If you're a life coach, if you're a speaker, if you're a teacher, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, you're not doing it for you. You're doing it for the people who you are called to serve. So if you haven't been thinking about success in that context, I implore you to do that now. So today I want to zero in on just 3 main points, and I'm going to be brief because it's almost lunchtime for some people. And while I'm in this break, of course, every Monday I do this. I share my insights with my group and with anyone who is willing to listen, because we're here to help each other. You see, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things I can show you, there are 3 things I want to discuss. The first thing is the importance of giving. The second thing is, I want you to consider yourself as an answer. And the final thing is how being of service is going to help you to become even more successful. So the first thing is the importance of giving. I believe that the best example of giving, period, is when Jesus came to earth and gave himself for us. You know, it is said in John 3 verse 16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. For those of you who have children, what if someone was supposed to come to you tomorrow and say, you have to give up your child? You have to give up your child to get anything that you want. Most people, even if they're promised all the riches in the world, would perhaps say no because they love their child. And God gave his only son for us. To me, that's the epitome of giving. And if you want a second example that is just as powerful, is when Jesus himself actually came here. And when he did that walk, he shrouded himself in human flesh, right? And he walked. His walk was not a walk of glory. It was a walk of shame in a sense, but more so a walk of humility. You know, when Jesus was going to Gethsemane and he had to carry the cross, that was a heavy cross and he had to carry his own cross. And on top of it, he was crucified for us. So to me, those are the biggest instances that I've ever been apprised of as it relates to giving. And so if God was able to do all of that for us, what say me, a mere mortal who is sinful? I need to be giving something. I need to be helping somebody to become successful. And so when you look at giving, you look at it in a somewhat all-encompassing way. So you can give someone something tangible that might help them to move to the next level. Or you can give someone some words of wisdom based on what you know and what you're applying to your life and what you see working in your life. Or you can give someone directions to go somewhere. Maybe you are not the person who can help them, but you can point them in the right direction. So you can give them something in that sense. You see, a lot of times when we think about giving, we're thinking about it in the context of me taking up something tangible and giving it to you. But what you have to understand is that it is not always like that. Giving is a more all-encompassing word that includes the tangible and the intangible. And guys, feel free to share the video because this is for everyone. It is not just for the friends I have on Facebook, but for anyone who cares to listen, this is for them. So feel free to share the video, and thanks for the persons who have been sharing so far. So yes, I've been saying for those persons who are just joining or those persons who will join later, I encourage you to go and watch from the beginning. But if you have missed anything so far, the main points I'm focusing on today are: one, why it is important to give if you want to be a success; two, how you can show that you're an answer; and three, how service will help you to become even more successful. So I've already touched on giving, and I'm saying that you should look at giving in an all-encompassing manner, meaning giving both tangible and intangible things. It may be words of wisdom, it may be insights, it may be just sharing your story with someone who may have a similar story and may have thought that their dream was not possible because things are so bad that, you know, they're so destitute right now, so their dream is not possible. And upon seeing your story, they realize that, wow, I can do it. If this person can do it, I can do it too. And I always tell people, if I can do it, you can definitely do it, because I was not always the strongest person in terms of my mind, but I still remained resolute. And even at times when I was on the brink of giving up, something always happened. God always sent somebody just in the nick of time so that I would be able to stay on track. And I'm saying to you that if I was able to do that, you can definitely do it too. The second point I want to touch on is how you can become an answer. And what I mean by that is, for every problem, there is a solution. All of us are embarking on a different journey. All of us are trying to become a success because we're trying to solve someone's problem. Some of it is straightforward, like when you're in math class and you have the problems on the board, you try to come up with a solution, right? And you work until you find the right answer using the correct steps, right? Well, it is the same way in your life or in the world per se, whereby you are doing what you're doing so that you can become an answer for someone. I remember when I was listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes, I think it was his 2017 New Year sermon, and he was saying that the theme was, Lord, make me an answer. And I just thought that was beautiful. Because you being an answer, meaning that you are going to find the solution for somebody's problem. That's why you're here. Your reason for being here is not just so that you can accumulate all the accolades that exist and then go out there and do some work and get all the money and live happily ever after. No, that's not what it is about. You were born so that you have a specific calling which requires you to impact somebody's life. Some of it is straightforward, like speaking with someone, motivating somebody, empowering someone, and that's impactful. But you impact people's lives in every facet of life. It doesn't have to be something like that. It may be as a teacher, definitely as a teacher, you're impacting lives because you're imparting knowledge and you're hoping that people will understand what you're imparting so that they can apply it and do well on their exams or apply it to their lives in general. If you're a carpenter, you're offering a service because whatever you make, these bookshelves that you see behind me, these chairs, everything, you're making it so that someone can have the use of it for their books or someone can have the chairs to sit in. This necklace was made by someone who is skilled in that area so that I could wear it. Everything, every profession that exists, everything that you do, you're doing it so that you can serve someone else. So I want you to contextualize success in terms of service, and then that can help to motivate you to not give up even if you feel like it. Because guess what? If you do, the people who you are called to serve, the people who are waiting to be impacted by you, they are going to be left out in the cold, and you cannot afford that. You need to do what you are called to do so that the people who you are meant to serve can be impacted by your work. You have it in you. Stop just going through the motions and stop telling yourself that this is it, that it cannot get better. Because I'm here to tell you otherwise. How do I know this? I am perhaps, I could say I'm the epitome of someone who was born in abject poverty. But I'm here today not because of my starting position, but because of my desire to get out of that position, to get into a place whereby I could properly help people. Because I knew from a young age that that was my quest. I wanted to help people. I wanted to prevent people from having to go through what I went through. I felt like if I could do anything about it, I would definitely do that. And I wanted to be placed in a position to do that. So yes, even when I felt like giving up, my why reminded me to stay on course. That coupled with all the people who have played a role in my life at some point or another. Those things were what kept me grounded. And I'm saying to you, I am probably here to play a minor role in your life to remind you that even when things get really tough and when things look impossible, I don't want you to give up, because I want you to realize that when you stay committed and when you continue to dedicate your time and when you remain cognizant of the important factor, which is the service of the other people you are called to serve, then that will keep you grounded. So my final point is how being of service can help you to become more successful. You see, one of the fallacies that we go along with every day and we tend to think that it's true, we tend to believe that it's true, is that if you have a lot of money, that means that you're successful. So then we see rich people, quote unquote rich people or wealthy people, and we say, oh, they're successful, they're happy. But you know what? It's actually the reverse that is true. When you are successful, then you can make money. Because once you are successful on what it is that is your true purpose, the money will come, the wealth will come. Because when you're successful, it means that you have developed yourself in all areas as it relates to your calling. It means that you are either an expert or very close to being an expert. It means that there are people out there who will definitely need your service because of your credibility and because of your expert status. And even if you haven't yet acquired that status, you are in the process of doing that by empowering yourself, by investing in yourself, and by focusing on your growth and development. You're investing in you so that you can be of better service to someone else. So when you go and you acquire those skills, no matter what the skills are, and there are a plethora of skills that one might want to acquire. It may be graphic designing, it may be writing, it might be speaking. When you acquire those skills, you're not going to stay at home and design things to put in your home and that's it. Or you're going to speak to your mirror and record it and save it for when you die so someone can listen to it. Or you're going to just paint the outside of your house and then cover it because you don't want anyone to see it. No, you invest in yourself, you develop the skills and the prowess so that you can go out there and offer these skills to someone who needs them. See what I'm saying? And the better you become at what it is that you want to do or what it is that you love doing, the better you are at it, the higher the demand will be. Because there is, one of the best publicity is word of mouth. And when people know that you are good, when you offer a service to someone and that service was good and that customer is satisfied, guess what? They're not going to keep it to themselves. They're going to go out there and share it with their friends. And, you know, we're now in the age of social media. They're going to post it. They're going to say something about it. And then you build momentum and you build clientele that way. So what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, as you think about being successful, being a success, I want you to think about it in the context of service. Because that is the ultimate success, when you serve other people. That's why we're here. We're not here for ourselves. We're here to fulfill God's purpose for us so that we can impact other people's lives. In Romans 8 verse 28, it says that we are more than conquerors. It says that we are called according to his purpose. And God's purpose for our lives is to go out there and win souls for him. God's purpose for our life is to go out there and create abundance for other people. And it is said in, I believe it is in the book of St. John chapter 15 verse 16. It says that I am the true vine and my father is the husbandman. And basically what that scripture encompasses is the fact that we are just branches. And we know that if it is that the tree is not properly watered and cared for, it's going to die. And it starts dying from the root. The root dies, and then the trunk dies, and then the veins, the vine dries up. And finally the branches fall off and they will rot. So as long as we're watering our tree, we're watering the tree that is within us, which is the word of God, then we're going to strengthen ourselves. And the stronger we become, now we can go out there and win souls for Christ. It's the same way. The better you become at what it is that you do, the better you become at your profession, at your career, at the services that you're offering, is the more demand that people will have of you. And don't worry about becoming overwhelmed because of the demand. Because what happens is that as you expand, you build a team, right? Because no man is an island anyway. I am not saying you're going to do it by yourself. You just have to start somewhere. And at the starting point, it's just you, and that's fine. But I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, if there is any utility that you have found in what I'm saying, then stick to it. And stick to these broadcasts that I'm doing. Follow me on social media. Because guess what? I might be that little voice that is there to help you, to encourage you, and to remind you that your dream is possible. No one could have convinced me 10 years ago or even 20 years ago that I would be here today, that I would be able to look back and say that I did it. Because guess what? At that time, my vision was so myopic because of my circumstances. I was limited by my circumstances. And even though I had big dreams, and there were times in the interim when I felt like it is possible, but most of the time I thought it wouldn't happen because of my circumstances. However, luckily for me, I was at different points in my life surrounded by people who kept encouraging me. I read a lot, so that was good for me as well, among other things that helped to keep me on track, as I've said earlier. However, you might be in a position right now where you feel like it's not possible because of your circumstances. That's very limiting and that's very debilitating, and I'm not going to judge you based on that because I've experienced it myself. But what I'm saying to you is that even if there's just an inkling of hope, hold on to that hope, because it means that there is still something in there. Do not allow that fire to go out. Try as best as possible to keep that flame alight, because you need it. You need it to step into your greatness. You need it to step into the other leg of your journey. And I'm here with you. I continue to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I will believe with you and I believe in you. For further insights and motivation, please visit my website at www.shauna-kaye.com. Feel free to also follow me on Instagram at SKB Renaissance Woman. I also have this group. It's called Manifest Your Greatness, Believe and Grow. You are more than welcome to join that group. Today I feel empowered, but I also feel grateful. And I'm really happy to be in this place mentally, because even though I'd like to think that I've always been someone who is grateful, it hasn't always been like that. There was a time when I thought about myself a lot. It was mostly about me, and if things didn't go right, it was because someone wronged me or someone didn't do right by me then, so to speak. But now it's different. Now, almost every day I get up, I just feel humble and I feel grateful, irrespective of the problem I'm facing. Sometimes they are just really big problems, and they just become so small when I think about all the things I have to be grateful for. But right now, at the fore of my mind, the one thing I'm very grateful for is the opportunity to tell my story. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be available to you in the month of August 2017 in an anthology. I'm a part of an anthology with 30 plus other entrepreneurs, coaches, and authors from around the world. And I am so excited because I believe that this is going to be one of the most powerful books written in this century, because of the caliber of people who are in that book and because of the quality of the material that's going to be produced. You're talking about over 30 people telling you their stories of overcoming trials, overcoming adversity, to be able to stand here today and show you that if they did it, you can do it too. I'm very excited about this anthology, and I will keep you guys updated about this book. As I said, it will be available in August, and you guys will be the first to know about this book. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your week, and remember, success ultimately lies in the service of others. Thank you and have a great week.